Public that might be online. We'll declare our council meeting for the 30th of May, 2024 open. We'll start with Karakia.
Morning, councillors. Whakataka taho ki te uru, whakataka taho ki te tonga, kia makinakina ki uta, kia mataratara ki tai, e he aka ana te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hohu, ti hei mauri ora.
Kia ora. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Chief Executive. All right, councillors, we've got a reasonable agenda before us today. I think that the vast majority of our time will be spent on the two items that we've got in public excluded. We will aim to, so we'll do the sort of the nuts and bolts and get through the minutes, and then we do have other external members that will be joining us for the public excluded item 9.1 regarding the Regional Development Fund. So we will bring that forward on our, well, that will be one of the first things that we deal to. Okay. Kia ora. Yes, Councillor Kneebone.
Just curious what your sort of rough thinking time was.
I think that we should be able to get through the public excluded items hopefully by 11:30. And
Will be done by lunchtime.
I would say that we'll be done sort of 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Well, ish. I'm just giving myself a little grace. Like to set an ambitious target, but stretch, but let's be reasonable. Okay. So we will go to the health and safety statement. We'll take that as read. That's on page 6 of your agenda. Any issues or anything? Nope. Okay, we'll go to apologies. Any apologies? No early departures. We've got, just so everyone knows, in the chambers, we've got myself, Councillor Hodge, Smith, Dunbar, Smith, Nickel, Kneebone, Downard, Marr, Cookson, Graff, Hughes, and Clarkson. Online, we have Councillors Mahuta and Councillor Strange. So we do have all in attendance today. So no apologies. We'll go to confirmation of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Kneebone, a second. Councillor Hughes, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Disclosures of interest, any new disclosures or disclosures in relation to items on the agenda today? Nope. No, I do not believe that fishing from the wharf counts on this, but thank you for asking. Okay, we'll go to confirmation of the council minutes. This is on page 7. These are the minutes from the 24th of April, 2024 council meeting. Do I have a mover that those are a true and correct record? Councillor Clarkson, second. And Councillor Hodge. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. They'll steal your pen. Okay. Okay, then we've got receipt, confirmation and receipt of minutes. This is covering pages 15 through 75. This is in relation to yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, members. Today you are being asked to confirm the minutes as correct from the Integrated Catchment Management Committee, 11th of April, Environmental Performance Committee, 9th of May, which is both open and public excluded, the Chief Executive Employment and Remuneration Committee open minutes from the 21st of May, Climate Action Committee from the 23rd of May. And we're asking you to receive minutes from the Waikato Raupatu River Trust Co-Governance Committee of the 9th of April, Future Proof Public Transport Subcommittee from the 3rd of May, Raukawa Charitable Trust Co-Governance Committee from the 10th of May, and we're receiving some Draft Finance and Services Committee from the 22nd of May, where we're seeking some decisions to be made later in the proceedings.
Not sure if this is a point of order or clarification, Madam Chair. How can this council confirm a committee's minutes is true and correct? I believe only committees can confirm their minutes is true and correct.
Are you referring to the minutes we're receiving?
No, it says the minutes of the committee listed below be confirmed as correct. I believe that is an incorrect position for this council to take. We cannot confirm a
I
committee's.
believe we've discussed this previously.
I believe, well, we may have, but I still believe that a council cannot confirm a committee's minutes. It's the committee.
Those
to
committee
confirm.
members are all made up of these
No, I'm
counselors.
not part of some of the committees, Madam
Yes,
Chair, and I
but the
can't-
other committee members are the counselors that sit around this table, so.
Ask that, I see the Chief Executive is speaking to our advisor. I wonder whether we can ask for a comment, please. I believe it should read received rather than confirmed.
Kia ora, Council. Thank you for your question, Councillor Smith. There are a number of, I guess, approaches that councils take to confirm minutes. The approach that you've articulated and potentially familiar with in other councils is indeed correct. The approach that Waikato Regional Council takes on confirming minutes has been in place for many years. The position we take is to enable council to confirm minutes of committees where the membership is made up of councillors only, on the basis that those councillors make up council. You'll see in the second part of the resolution, any committee minutes that are coming through that include external members are simply received, and those minutes are then sent back to the committee to confirm them. The reason we take this approach is because the frequency of committee meetings is typically anywhere between 2 to 3 months. And so getting minutes confirmed and decisions confirmed, there would be a lag time if we were sending these minutes back to those committees, and therefore it would, I guess, mean that action taken in relation to those decisions would be delayed. So that's basically the reasoning behind the approach that we take here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I accept that that is the rationale that currently exists. But if I was a member of a committee and I wish to challenge the content back at the committee, that ability to do so is removed by this process. So,
Councillor Kneebone.
The chairs of the committees have an obligation to circulate them or sign off and or circulate the minutes before they come around. We've been doing it this way forever. I'm kind of
And this,
curious as
and
to why it's
Councillor
come
Smith
up
has
now.
raised this previously and has had that answer provided previously. So I trust that having discussed this twice, we won't need to discuss it again. All right, so we'll move on. We have a mover for acceptance motion. Councillor Hughes, do I have a second? Councillor Nicol, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, now we move on to recommendations from the committees. We've got so we're doing the Future Proof Public Transport Subcommittee. This is on page 33, your agenda. We're going through each of the recommendations. So we've got,
So these are the these are the pages that the recommendations we've got on the screen at the top.
so 33.
Yep.
Or is it this one?
So that's just a summary of the.
Okay. What specific page?
This resolution here. Page 34, that section.
Okay. So if we're looking on page 34 of your agenda packs. And you'll note on page 34, you see that point number 2, resolve for recommendation to the future-proof partners.
Question, has this letter actually been sent? If it hasn't, is it relevant anymore?
It has been sent.
Perhaps it should be a retrospective. Should be,
Sorry, what?
We can make it
Yeah,
retrospective that will, I'll just change the wording.
All right.
article.
Correct. All right. Do I have a mover in that? Councillor Strange, as the deputy chair of that committee, would you like to move that?
Yeah, she's put her
Yeah,
thumb up.
she's put a. Do I have a second? Sorry, Councillor Clarkson. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Councillor Smith, can I get you to turn your mic off? All right. Next, we have a recommendation from the Finance and Services Committee from 22 May. This is on page
63.
Okay, so 63 and 64 of your agendas. Councillor Hughes, would you, as the chair of that committee, did you want to? Yeah, microphone, please.
Look, I'm happy to speak in support of this resolution. It has been covered by workshop and also previous meetings, disclosures to council by our new advisors, Cow Investment. I'd like to move the resolution.
All right, I've got a mover in Councillor Hughes, a second in Councillor Clarkson. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we have a second recommendation from the Finance and Services Committee. This is on page 70. Councillor Hughes, would you like to speak to that again?
Once again, this has been covered by workshop and work papers in support of the calculations, which have been circulated, I believe, to all councillors. This is a move up from the previous SIPO, which was taken at a lower level of risk. I'd like to move this resolution, and if they deliver as they say, then we're going to end up with a much healthier position in the future. So that I'll
Right.
back to the chair.
Do I have a second? Councillor Nicol. Any other comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, now we move to a recommendation from the Action Committee. This is on page 74 of your agenda. Councillor Nicol, as the chair of that committee, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, sure. So the Nature Positive Framework and Plan has been scrutinised at 2 full council workshops and 2 committee meetings. And since it's towards the CEO KPI, I would imagine also at CIRC. It might have started off as a focus on offsetting corporate emissions, but actually the common sense logic of it, of council restoring its own land that it owns, it just stacks up as another way to walk the talk. Should we wish to use this method in future, we can do so, but that's a discussion for another day. But yeah, just want a big thanks to Karen Bennett for leading that work alongside our consultant that we used for it. Yeah,
Great.
no, quite excited by this piece of work.
Councillor Nicol, as I attended a couple of those workshops, I thought it was a really positive and progressive way of addressing these issues and really exciting commentary from those who developed this around what what options might be available to us in terms of particularly our public transport emissions profiles and what we might do to address those. So I thought it was very exciting work. So thank you for bringing that to council. You moving? Are you? Councillor Clarkson moves. Councillor
happy to
Nicol,
second.
happy to second.
Yeah, good piece of work.
All
Karen?
those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right. That finishes off our minutes. We will now go to our motion to exclude the public. So we can move on to our 2 items in public excluded. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Hodge, a second, Councillor Graff. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, we did capture the attendees. Great, fabulous.
So they can come in there.